And thank you for taking the time to review our second half of 2024 highlights. My name is Taylor Compo, and I'm a consultant certified in recruiting and onboarding, performance and goals, and employee central. I'm located in Bend, Oregon, and work for Veritas Prime, a global SAP SuccessFactors partner. We are one of the world's leading HR transformative consultancies, specializing in implementing and supporting success factors with clients across the globe. As part of our release coverage, I will be reviewing some of the key release updates for onboarding. For current release analysis, you can connect with us on our website, veritasprime.com, the contact us link, or for current clients, reach out to your project manager or CSM. We will begin by looking at our first highlight, which is employer signature support for corporate representative. So this is a great release feature for our compliance forms, especially for clients in the US who have things like part 2 of the I-9 that will need to be signed. Now, instead of only having it limited to the hiring manager completing this activity or other responsible groups, we can actually set this within the form based on job relationships. So here you can see we can set this to a corporate representative, manager, HR manager, matrix manager, and so on. So this is a really great feature that was introduced. Next, we'll discuss onboarding support for concurrent employment. So previously, this was a limitation where you could not go through onboarding with concurrent employment. However, now, as the like HR manager or another user, you can navigate to that employee's profile, take action, and you can actually trigger the onboarding process from their employee profile. So the employee throughout this will have the same login, and they will have a primary assignment and a concurrent employment profile where they can navigate through in success factors. So this is really nice for an employee to be able to complete their onboarding tasks under their existing login for their new employment. The onboarding dashboard has also seen some updates within this most recent release. So this is really going to improve the onboarding user's experience where they have more filter capabilities. So being able to search based on internal hire, new hire, whether they're rehires, concurrent employment, and things like that. The other great aspect of this is the introduction of being able to search by department, division, or location. So just having those additional feature or search filters is really going to help those users completing onboarding filter their onboardees as needed. The new hires onboarding journey has also seen some enhancements through this release. So we have seen updates to the onboarding checklist where we're seeing more information and it's more personalized with the name and start date here. We're also seeing some style updates to help with visual appeal to this checklist. And when the new hire logs in, they also have the ability to have a guided tour to help them understand what's needed and what they need to complete throughout this onboarding process. Another great feature to really help with data integrity is seamlessly integrating the EC data with the offboarding data. So now if there are any changes to termination date or the manager, you can make those changes on the employee profile, and that those data updates will flow through to onboarding. So you'll see the data within onboarding get updated, but also if you have things like a manager changing, those tasks are going to automatically reassign to the new manager. The onboarding homepage cards also had some enhancements, and this is going to help with that new hire experience. So the homepage now has additional like label updates. Like here below, you can see required tasks, which is helping the onboardee understand that they must go in and complete this task for their onboarding process to move forward. We have other areas of improvement where things like the welcome message is now available in that onboarding checklist as well. Enhancements to the personal data collection page for new hires. So I think this is a really great update because now as a new hire, after you complete the provide personal data step, you have the ability to go in and view the information you entered. So there is no ability to edit at this point, but just being able to view that information and what was entered is a nice feature, whereas previously, I believe it just had a message kind of mentioning that that step was completed. We saw some really great enhancements to the internal hire process as well. So I know this was a feature that a lot of clients were asking about, and whether workflows can be triggered for internal hires. So if you recall with onboarding 1.0, when you would go through the manage pending hire process for internal hires, you could trigger workflows. With this new onboarding module, internal hires do not flow to manage pending hires. So previously that wasn't possible. But now at the point of initiating onboarding from recruiting for these internal hires, this can trigger workflows. And while these workflows are going through, we're going to see those updates getting sent back to onboarding so that users like recruiters, coordinators, they would have the ability to go in and check where that workflow is during the process. And here we can see the workflow is pending. So this is a really exciting feature that I think a lot of clients will be excited about. Availability of extension points in the onboarding process. So this is also a really cool new feature that was introduced. And this is going to help lock our onboarding process until certain steps are completed. And those steps being outside of the onboarding process. So you may have things like background check vendors. Maybe you have vendors to collect or request equipment. And you may not want an onboarding process to proceed until that is completed. So here, these extension points can be added. And if you see in this screenshot here, all subsequent tasks will be automatically available upon completion of this task. So it's forcing you to complete that task outside of onboarding before this can proceed. So one other thing we always will be discussing as we progress to the point of onboarding 1.0 being deprecated is we are getting closer and closer where if you haven't already migrated to the new onboarding platform, this is definitely something you will want to start planning. So onboarding 1.0 will reach end of maintenance by November 6, 2025. and it will be deleted on June 6th, 2026. So you will need to be on that new platform by that point, and ideally even before then, so that you can plan and have the ability to go back into 1.0 to maybe review history or anything like that at that point. The other thing to consider is when maintenance ends, we will most likely no longer see updates to our standard onboarding compliance forms. So if you are currently utilizing those forms today, we would highly recommend planning to be live with your new onboarding module before November 6th so that you can continue to use those forms. One of the one of the enhancements that SAP added through this release was the ability to run a report and identify errors to migrate your I-9. So previously you could run the report, identify the errors after that job was ran. This allows you to run this job before that job runs so that you can see what errors are coming up and correct them before running the job to migrate your data into the new onboarding module. Lastly, one really cool new thing that SAP has going on is onboarding with the combination of SAP WorkZone. So SAP WorkZone is similar to like Jam or what used to be Jam. So this is what this combination of these two licenses, you can really help customize that experience for your new hires or your internal hires. And you can provide a more guided experience, really customizing what they see and adding wizards to add like a more comprehensive onboarding experience. And that wraps up our highlights of the onboarding second half 2024 release. We do have more details in our release notes that will also be available, and we highly recommend reviewing those as well. Thank you for your time.